Hello students, how are you? I hope you're all doing good. Since we have completed the chapter that is physical and chemical change, and in the last class I have sent you the NCERT question answer and the solution. Today in this video we will discuss about the third chapter, that is fiber to fabric. I know that this chapter has been taught by the teacher that were earlier were teaching, PR sir I think. So he already taught this chapter, but again I am starting this chapter, so it will be kind of a recapitulating or revision. It is a kind of a revision. We know about this chapter because we are learning. We are learning about this chapter since class 6, because in class 6 we have learned about there was also a chapter that is the fiber to fabric, and where we have learned that how we get jute, how we get cotton, right? In this chapter we will discuss about the wool. The fiber, there are so many fibers, right? Like wool, silk, there are so many fibers. So we will discuss about those wool, silk, and how we obtained it, and how we convert this wool, silk to fabric. Before starting this chapter, I would like to tell you some interesting facts, or I must say some interesting story about this, about silk. This silk, this silk was discovered by whom? This silk was discovered by China. It was first discovered by the China, and later, after so many years, the other countries, around it spread across the world. Earlier, what actually happened that the silk was so smooth and it was so soft that everyone liked that fabric. And everyone was quite amazed about this interesting fabric. They want to know the secret about this fabric, that how it converted, how this fabric is so smooth, and where did it came from. Nobody knew, only China knew. When China found that, when they found this interest, that they are making profit, when China is finding that they are making profit through this silk, and as well as it is helping us to increase their revenue, or I must say economic condition, as well as it is making them rich, so they didn't try to sell that secret. They want to keep that secret, that how the silk is made, to themselves. And whenever the person who used to try to spread this knowledge, that how the silk is formed, how we get the silk, they were supposed to execute it, or they were supposed to punish by the emperors of the China. See how cruel they were. They were so cruel that they were so selfish that they didn't want to sell that secret. They didn't want the world to know that how we get the silk, how they get the silk. Now an interesting thing is done, then how the world came to know. So as usually the production of the silk is increasing, and at the same time the demand of the silk was increasing across the world, it increases the curiosity of the people, among the people, because they also want to know how it is made, so that they, instead of exporting from China, it's better to make it from here. So after so many years, I must say like maybe 150 or 200 years, that one of the Japanese crew, they invaded to China, and from there they actually stole the silkworm eggs, few of the silkworm eggs, and they take it to the Japan, and from there they started manufacturing it. And from there it spread. From there it started spreading. And at the same time, and India also, how did it came to India? India is beside China also. Even after beside China, they didn't came to know about the silk. But after so many years, maybe 150 years, it came to know that one of the princess has visited the China, and from there she brought the eggs of the silkworm, and from silkworm, and then from there it started spreading, and she came to know how to she learned that how to make a silk from that silkworm, and from there she started spreading this information to all parts of the India. So from there only we get to know that how the silk is made. So first it was discovered in China, and then it's after so many years then the secret of how the silk is made is spread across the world. You know, to make 1 kg of silk, we have to kill 6,600 silkworms. Means 6,600 silkworms are to be killed to make 1 kg of silk. It's quite sad, but it's a quite sad part. But it is a after the silk that we get it is of a high smooth. It is quite smooth, and at the same time it is soft in nature. It is a soft in nature. Now comes to this chapter that we will learn in this. Now from fiber to fabric we get an idea that what we will learn. We will learn that how we get fiber from plants and animals, because we have learned in class 6 that how we get this fiber from plants, animals or chemicals, and how we get fabric from fiber. How we get fabric from fiber. Now let's start. Now tell me, how we get these clothes, that clothes we are wearing, the bags that are made up of, the curtains that are made up of, the bed sheet that are made up of. How we get those items? We get clothes, bags, bed sheet. From where? We get clothes, bags, bed sheet from fabric. And from fabric we get it from, and where do we get it from? Get this fabric? We get this clothes, bags from fabric. Now tell me, where do we get this fabric? We get fabric from yarn. And where do we get this yarn? We get this yarn from where? From fiber. And where do we get fiber? We get fiber from plants, animals and chemicals. So see, this is a chain. So the clothes we are wearing, the bags that we are using, the bed sheet that we had in our home, these are all not made up of one process. There is so many process involved in it to get bed sheet, clothes and bags. It is not one process. There is so many process, and it is a chain process that it is interdependent on each other. From plants and animals we make fiber. From fiber we make yarn. From yarn we make fabric. And from fabric we make what? Clothes, bag and bed sheets. From bed sheets. So see, this is the chain involved in making clothes. The clothes we wear, the bags that we carry, the bed sheet that we had in our home, all these are all just is not one process. It's not easy process. It involves so many processes. So what actually happens? Let's see. So let's start the steps involved in making clothes. What are the steps or what are the chain process that are involved? First is plant. We need plant, animals, insects or chemicals. From where we make what? We make fiber. And from this fiber, what we do? From this fiber we make yarn. We do what? We do spinning. And what we get? While spinning it, we convert it into a thread. Like reel type. যেমন সুতোর যেটা হয় রিলের মতন, যেটা আমরা সুতো পেঁচানো থাকে, সুতোতে কনভার্ট করি। তো আমরা কিসে কনভার্ট করি? সুতোতে। আর সেই সুতোটাকে কি করি? পেঁচিয়ে একটা মানে সুতো যেটা আমরা দেখেছি যে পেঁচানো থাকে, এরকম একটা থাকে সার্কেল, আর এখানে সুতো এরকম 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 পেঁচানো থাকে, তো আমরা সুতোতে কনভার্ট করি। অ্যান্ড দেন হোয়াট উই ডু, দেন উই had two process, we go through two process, either weaving or we do knitting. knitting মানে বোনা, যেটা তোমার ঠাকুমা দেখবে না দুটো কাঠি দিয়ে বোনে, তো সেটা নিটিং। উইভিং মানে তাঁত, কোনোদিন তাঁতের ওইখানে প্রোডাকশনে দেখেছো যেখানে তাঁতের শাড়ি বানায়, তো দ্যাট ইজ উইভিং। সো হোয়াট উই গেট ফ্রম ইয়ার্ন, উই মেক ফ্যাব্রিক, তো কি হয় ওই সিঙ্গল সুতোটাকে কি করা হয় এরকম স্কোয়ার 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 এরকম এরকমই কনভার্ট করা হয়। দিস ইজ ফ্যাব্রিক, অ্যান্ড দিস ইজ ইয়ার্ন। ফ্যাব্রিক তোমরা দেখবে আমাদের জামাগুলোতে দেখবে ছোট ছোট স্মল স্কোয়ার। And from fabric what we do, we stitch different color of clothes, and then we stitch it, and what we get clothes, bags, curtains. আমাদের যেই স্যুট চুড়িদারের পিস যেটা বানানো হয়, তো আমরা কীভাবে বানাই, ডিফারেন্ট দিয়ে দেয়, আমাদের ফ্যাব্রিক দিয়ে দেয়, একটা বড় একটা ইয়ের মতন প্লেন শিটের মতন দিয়ে দেয়, আর সেটাকে কেটে আমরা স্টিচ করে আমরা ক্লোথস বানাই। So these are the processes that are involved in making clothes. Now we will understand first we will understand how we will get fiber from plants, and from there how we will get the fabric. Let's understand. So start with fiber. There are two types of fibers. What are they? One is natural fiber and one is synthetic fiber. We know this term, natural fiber and synthetic fiber. What is natural? The natural fiber are those which are obtained from the nature. That are obtained naturally. We can go through various processes, and through which we can make the fiber. And what are the synthetic fibers? The synthetic fibers are the fibers that are made in industry from simple chemicals. And what that chemicals? That is petroleum. Yes, we can make synthetic fibers from petroleum. So from natural fibers we get natural fibers from where? From plants and animals. So we get different kind of fibers from plants and animals. What we get from plants? That is cotton, jute, that we have learned in class 6. And here in this chapter we will learn about the fiber that we get from plants, that is wool and silk. And what about the synthetic fibers? What kind of fibers we get from synthetic? That is nylon. Common, we have all heard about nylon kapor, nylon ye. So we know what is nylon. Another is polyester, another is acrylic. So these are the fibers are classified on the basis of what? On the basis of availability. So in fiber to fabric we have discussed that how we get the fiber from cotton, and how we get the cotton and jute from plants. In this chapter we will discuss about the wool and the silk, how we get this fiber from the animals, and what are the process we need. The first we have to come through, that is wool. Now first the fiber that we get from animal, that is wool. Now tell me, where do we get this wool? We get this wool from sheep, goat, yak, like hairy animals, the animals which have thick fur, or we can say the animals which have hair. So we get wool from hair of these animals, or we can say that fleece of sheep, goat, yak. So these are the animals from where we get the wool. They have a thick hair around their body, and what we actually get from these hair we make wool. They have thick hair around their body, and from that thick hair we get what? We get wool. Now here comes the second question, that why the animals have thick hair? Interesting now, why they have thick hair? Why these animals? So why animals have a thick hair? Because this hair keeps their body warm. And what actually they do? What is actually hair or fur or fleece? What actually they do? This fur traps the air. And as a result, the air do not allow heat to escape from the body. As a result, it keeps their body warm. You have seen in a polar bears that they have thick hair, and how they are surviving. They are surviving because of this hair, because of the fur. What actually it does? This fur traps the air close to their body, and when these air traps are close to this body, this air does not allow heat to escape. From the body, and as a result, since heat is not escaping from the body, it is keeping the body warm. Why it is not allowing? Because air is a bad conductor of heat. Now tell me, I hope now you have understood that why from this hair we make wool. Why we make wool from this hair? It is also another question, that why we make wool from the hair or the fleece of the sheep, goat and yak. The reason is because it as a fur traps the air, and this air acts as a bad conductor which does not allow heat to pass, and as a result it keeps our body warm. And this is the reason why we wear the wool in winter season, not the summer season, and why the wool is made from hair of the sheep, goat and yak. So here is the reason why we wear wool in winter and why we wear cotton in summer. The wool fiber traps air in between them, and air is a bad conductor of heat. As a result, it does not allow heat to escape, and so we feel warm. And why we wear cotton in summer? Because cotton is very thin fiber and cannot trap air. It cannot prevent the loss of heat from the body. And as a result, we feel cool. When we wear cotton clothes. When we wear cotton clothes in summer, we feel cool. So till now we have discussed this. We will discuss more about in the next class.